Right. Antoine Semenyo to Arsenal temptation. I tell you, when the team is one of the best in the world, every player will look up to going to that team. I can take you back to those that really watched the Premier League way back from 1997, 1998, 1999. You remember those days? Sir Alex Ferguson had one of the biggest teams in the world, that was Manchester United. And whichever player he pointed on, especially in the Premier League, he wanted to obviously come and join them. And you remember, the only player that I think Sir Alex Ferguson failed to sign was Alan Shearer. You understand? And to make things worse, Shearer left Blackburn for Newcastle. You get? But imagine if I told Sir Alex Ferguson I'd gone ahead to bring in Alan Shearer to join the likes of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to join the likes of Andy Cole, Dwight York, Teddy Sheringham. That was a massacre. That would have gone ahead to be one of the best twin double that we ever gonna hit to force in the world. That indeed Sir Alex Ferguson was building a force, that he could reckon with to beat any team across Europe in there for you. So this time round, it's Antoine Semenyo to Arsenal temptation. I've already told you that, by the way, Arsenal is one of the biggest teams in the world football right now. And it was evidenced even this midweek when they went ahead, obviously, win a 6th game in a row in the Champions League. And they are the best team in Europe so far, by results, by players, and so on and so forth. That is the club of Arsenal. So Antoine Semenyo is tempted to obviously go ahead and really join the club of Arsenal. Then Enzo Maresca has been named the manager for the month of November of the Premier League, and we are going to be adding those two stories up to obviously bring you a big story that all of you guys are really going to enjoy here onto the Rokani Media Football. Smash the like button, comment, and share. If at all you're watching us for the very first time, endeavor to subscribe to this channel so as not to miss out on stories that we do upload in here on a daily. Rokan David is my name. We want to hit 30,000 subscribers onto this channel. And when we clock that, I tell you what, we'll be looking at clocking 40,000, and it has been you who have obviously taken us, who have obviously taken us from 1, 10, 1,000, 5,000, and so on and so forth in there. But how do you subscribe? Go into the lower right bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, a notification bell that whenever you get notified every time I upload a video onto this beautiful YouTube channel of ours that has all the best that you guys deserve. Now, Semenyo has been linked to Arsenal. That is it. And we know to it that he's one of those players that Arsenal is looking at. And now, Sunsport have come out and told us that Antoine Semenyo is tempted by a move to Arsenal and has distanced himself from a switch to Spurs. The forward has 6 goals and 3 assists in the EPL season, and with a £65 million release clause active until January 10th, a transfer could move fast in 2026. Now, Spurs fans are obviously going to feel agitated for this because in the recently concluded summer transfer window, they felt like they had won the race to sign Ebelechi Eze. But Ebelechi Eze from nowhere overturned and obviously went ahead to join Arsenal. You understand? Now, Arsenal looks like they're trying to do an Eze again on Spurs on a player known as Antoine Semenyo. And obviously, if you're Antoine Semenyo, and 2 clubs are interested in you, I'm talking of Arsenal and Spurs, where do you go? Let's be realistic. Everyone would go to Arsenal because, one, Arsenal is a club that for the past 5-6 years have kept the same manager. Spurs, from 2019, they've had Jose Mourinho sacked. They've had Nuno Espirito sacked. They've had Antonio Conte sacked. They've had Ange Postecoglou sacked. And now they're having a manager known as Thomas Frank. You understand? So if you're a player, you'd like to go to a club whose manager has been there for some time, and you know to it that when this manager signs me, he's obviously going to use me. You understand? And we're going to hate to see players becoming culprits of managers that never signed them, and that is due, or that is courtesy of sacking the manager. So he's like, I'm gonna be going to Arsenal, non-Spurs, and remember, he has a £65 million release clause in there for you, and it's active until 10th January. That is it. The moment they don't get him at that particular time, I tell you what, it will be hard to obviously get in this player known as Antoine Semenyo. But at the look of things, I think the question would be for me, if at all I'm Antoine Semenyo, that will I get ample playing time at the club of Arsenal? As we all know to it that he can play as a right wing, he can play as a right winger, left winger. He can also play as a central midfielder lately, and he can obviously play as a false number 9. You understand? Now, when you look at Arsenal, can he really get into that team of Arsenal? You know, it's really very, very shocking for me. Why would Arsenal go in for a player like Antoine Semenyo during the January transfer window when we all know to it that their forwards are really very okay? And the problem Arsenal is really having, it's in its defense. And I've already told you that if our Arsenal, I would all go out for a player who can play multiple positions in that central defense. If they can get in a player like Julian Timber, who can play as a right back, left back, right-sided centre-back, left-sided centre-back, that will be marvellous for them. And that's why the termination of Tomiyasu's contract did them bad, because Tomiyasu was one of those that could play across all there. But with the injuries they're really having, I don't think that it will be wise for Arsenal to go all out and really spend all that amount of money and see to it that they obviously don't gate in that player, you know, who is a defender. But Antoine Semenyo is a signing that very many clubs are really interested in. Man City, Liverpool are all in. Even Manchester United is all in. That's what we've been told. So that sends you a message that the club of Manchester United is one of those that is really interested in the player. Spurs is interested, and now we are waiting to see who wins this race, because it's really gonna be a heated up race, as the player has a fixed fee of £65 million, and when a player has a fixed fee, it's all about agreeing personal terms with him. And when you agree personal terms with the player, then you proceed to the club that has ownership on him, and then you send them a message that I'm willing to trigger the release clause in there for you. So guys, that is all about Semenyo. And remember, he's not going to be going to the African Cup of Nations, as Ghana is not there, you know. However much he is an England national, but of Ghanaian descent and ethnicity, he hasn't obviously found himself in a position of really playing in what we call the African Cup of Nations, because Ghana never qualified. So that is making him a hot asset during the January transfer window. If he was going to be playing in the African Cup of Nations, I don't think that very many clubs would have gone to show interest in the player, because they would be like, the player is obviously going to be leaving in December and will be returning in January. But right now, if you sign him right now, you can obviously have him into your squad during the January transfer window. But if Arsenal is really putting up a charge to sign this player, that shows you that they're really working thick and fast, you know, to really see to it that they prepare for any situation that could act as a hinge from them winning the league. That is a club known as Arsenal for you. So that is Antoine Semenyo for you, and that's what we've gone ahead obviously getting for you here onto the Rokani Media Football. And now let's get to Chelsea. You know, last segment of this video, as we prepare to bring you the match preview of Arsenal versus Wolverhampton Wanderers, game that's going to be played over the weekend in there. Now, Enzo Maresca has been named the Premier League manager for the month of November, and it is confirmed by the Premier League. And I think, should I show? Let me see. I can show you the lad holding his award. So that is Maresca for you, holding it in there. That is Maresca for you. That is Maresca for you, holding it. You understand? And after holding it, you obviously understand that he has gone ahead to win it. Upon winning it, the guy has come up and obviously said the following, you know, after winning this, because it's really very important for him. As Chelsea fans were like, our manager is not really doing well, he should be sacked. I tell you what, he has just gone ahead to scoop an important reward in there for you. That is Enzo Maresca. And in his words, he said, this kind of thing, it's because you do the right things. Performances and results were fantastic. We didn't start December in the way we were like three games in a row in 1 week. We didn't get the results we expect, but we focus on the next one. So he won it, and obviously, when you look at the results, obviously got during the month of November, obviously, they speak volume because he was even once in the second position of the league as a club of Chelsea in here for you. So let's obviously see how he performed in November before we really call it a video. Now, in November, 1st November, he played against Tottenham and he beat Tottenham by 1-0. He beat Wolves by 3-0. He went ahead to beat Burnley by 2-0. And he drew with Arsenal 1-1. You understand? That is it. So I think he played 4 games, won 3 and drew 1. He deserves it. Let's all admit. He deserves this. He deserves this to the fullest. And that he is a man known as Enzo Maresca. So I call upon for your reactions into the comment section below about Antoine Semenyo to Arsenal temptation. Tell me what you think about it. Secondly, your thoughts onto a guy called Enzo Maresca being named the Premier League manager for the month of November. Does he really deserve it, or he doesn't? All that and more into the comment section below. Rokani David it is, and this is what we call the Rokani Media Football. And continue to subscribe because I want to see this channel hit 30,000 subscribers. How do you subscribe? Lower right bottom corner is the place to be. Smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After smashing it, your notification bell, that will enable you get notified every time I upload a video onto this channel in here, onto the Rokani Media Football. That is it. This is the 3rd video of the day. You know, we agreed on 5, eh? Looks like we are even gonna surpass them, not so? So guys, let's go on and see how things go on.